Aloha and good afternoon. We are just hours away from a presidential showdown between Biden and Trump as they prepare for a debate starting at 3 p.m. Hawaii time.
Yeah, it's the earliest general election presidential debate in U.S. history and the first time a former president and a sitting president are going head to head. Skylar Henry is in Atlanta with a preview.
President Biden and former President Trump take the debate stage tonight, where both presumptive nominees will lay their records out to the American people. Biden aides say he plans to paint Trump as too dangerous for the White House. He'll also argue Trump would cut taxes for the rich and take away abortion rights. On the Republican side, Trump's aides are urging him to focus on crime, immigration, and the economy, issues where he leads in the polls. But in the end, policies may not be what wins the debate.
Many Americans are tuning in to see how Joe Biden looks and how Donald Trump acts. And do they have the capacity to lead?
American University professor Jane Hall says in addition to policy talks, viewers will be paying attention to both men's energy and decorum.
Do you think that either man could really sort of separate himself from the other based off of his performance tonight?
I think that performance is fortunately or unfortunately going to be a key factor in how this is perceived and how it is perceived in all of the clips that will be out there.
Political watchers say those performances tonight could land big with undecided voters.
Not a super huge fan of either, but just if they're respectful to each other, I feel like that's super important.
New CBS News polling shows voters planning to watch the debate live are mostly looking to see how Biden and Trump perform, with 20% saying the debate will help them decide how to vote. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Atlanta.
And if you want to watch the debate, you can do so on all Hawaii News Now digital platforms. This includes streaming on the app, smart TVs, Roku, and on our website. The debate is hosted by CNN in Atlanta, and it will be aired live on CNN and simulcast from Local News Live beginning at 3 p.m. Hawaii time. And there is no studio audience present at the debate in the battleground state of Georgia. As the one-year anniversary of the Maui wildfire approaches, we're getting a close-up look at Lahaina's Ground Zero. On Mulanai Street, work on the very first home in the burn zone is underway. And Lahaina's famous banyan tree is showing signs of new life, with new leaves sprouting. Maui Mayor Richard Bison says he supports a plan for a permanent memorial in Lahaina for the victims of the fire, but says it's not a decision that he will make alone.
I think, again, leaving that to the community to signal to us how they want that to be done. We want to be very, very respectful of how the families, especially those 102 families, feel about this. And I think we just want to make it happen. As the county, we just want to make it happen.
Officials told Hawaii News Now their goal was to get the town functional first, and that by the end of the year they should have water and sewage services restored. In crime back on Oahu, new video shows a burglary suspect ransacking an office in Waipahu. HPD released the surveillance clips yesterday of the smash and grab at around 2 a.m. on June 16th. The man broke through a business's window on Kauka Boulevard. He fled in a silver 4-door sedan. If you have any tips, you can call Crime Stoppers at 955-8300. Yesterday, we told you about the arrest of another state deputy sheriff, and there are now 9 deputy sheriffs in total under criminal investigation. As our Mahealani Richardson found out, these are all tied to multiple cases.
The latest state deputy sheriff to be arrested works in the airport division. We sat down in a one-on-one interview with the director of the Department of Law Enforcement, who talked about 3 separate investigations. At 8:30 this morning, the Department of Law Enforcement's Criminal Investigations Division arrested 40-year-old Deputy Sheriff William Kekiahi for alleged reckless endangering and harassment, and then released him pending further investigation.
It's what we consider misconduct.
In a separate investigation over allegations of racial harassment, 2 sheriff's deputies, 40-year-old Sergeant Eric Mitamura, who's a supervisor, and Alvin Turla, were arrested for harassment, a misdemeanor offense. Both work in the Capital Central Patrol Division. Hawaii News Now learned there were several alleged incidents. One involves a black deputy sheriff during field training and racially charged comments.
That type of behavior, will not be tolerated. When you look at here we are in 2024, it's somewhat disheartening. Apparently it's been going on for months, but it was not brought to our attention until the latter part of May.
Jordan Lowe, Department of Law Enforcement Director, says 3 sheriff's deputies, including the 2 arrested, are on paid administrative leave, stripped of their gun, badge, and IDs, but he wouldn't give details about the incidents.
We made sure that the deputy that was the target was moved or transferred to a different section for his own well-being and for his own safety.
In a third investigation, Lowe said 5 sheriff's deputies are on paid administrative leave for a criminal and administrative probe. With these multiple investigations, does this reflect on the general culture of your department?
A general culture, no. We have good deputies out there doing their job, doing the best they can, and as in any organization, you're going to have these isolated incidents. There
are roughly 250 sheriff's deputies in the newly created Department of Law Enforcement, which split from corrections and rehabilitation. Mahealani Richardson, Hawaii News Now.
A celebration of life for Tamayo Perry, the city lifeguard and surfer who was killed in a shark attack on Oahu's North Shore, has been scheduled. It'll take place Sunday, July 14th at Ehukai Beach Park at 3 p.m. The family has created a GoFundMe page. You can look for the link at hawaiinewsnow.com. Drama at the Paradise Cove Luau. Some fired dancers told our Ben Gutierrez why shows were canceled in Ko'olina last Friday.
Paradise Cove Luau has been operating for at least 20 years. 5 dancers say they were terminated last week with little explanation, and some fellow cast members backed them up by refusing to perform.
Lost confidence, and here's your checks.
Zach Hun says that's what he and 4 other dancers were told last week as they were fired without further explanation from Paradise Cove Luau. Hun had worked there for nearly 9 years. Christine Marini Forsyth, who's pregnant, had worked there 16 years.
I have no prior write-ups. We all don't. No performance evaluation that was poor, no corrective, improvement plan, nothing. And all they could just say is, this is the reasoning for your discharge.
Some just answers would be nice, just a conversation. We didn't even get that, really. So just that would be nice.
Paradise Cove's Friday Luau was about to begin when the musicians walked out to show solidarity with the terminated dancers. This photo shows the hundreds of customers who headed back to their hotels after the show was canceled.
I felt so thankful. They didn't have to. They really didn't. I understand this is their livelihood and they need the money too, just like as much as we all do.
Paradise Cove has been holding auditions for new dancers and musicians, but over the weekend there weren't enough dancers and a young group was hired on short notice to take their place.
The kids is great, but just not for this. Half of them left already, so all of that was full. All the seats was full, they all left. All these seats empty, people left.
And if it is a loss in confidence, in our ability to lead, we are still able to dance. So to terminate fully instead of a demotion or something like that is a little much, we feel.
And I'm 20 weeks pregnant, and I'm finally, when I thought I was going to take my chance and take my leave and finally start my own family and that I would be taken care of by them, that they just trashed us and left us.
Now, we made several attempts to get a response from Paradise Cove management, but our phone calls, voicemails, and emails were not immediately returned. Ben Gutierrez, Hawaii News Now.
The U.S. Supreme Court handed down a ruling allowing Idaho hospitals to perform emergency abortions for now. Natalie Brand has more on the decision and some of the issues surrounding it.
The Supreme Court has ruled Idaho ER doctors can perform abortions when needed in medical emergencies. The case focused on a clash between Idaho's near-total ban and federal law, which requires hospitals that accept Medicare to provide stabilizing treatment, including abortion care, to a mother whose health is at serious risk. During arguments in April, female justices pressed the state on medical emergencies like sepsis and hemorrhaging.
Within these rare cases, there's a significant number where the woman is, her life is not imperiled, but she's going to lose her reproductive organs. She's going to lose the ability to have children in the future, unless an abortion takes place.
How can you impose restrictions on what Idaho can criminalize simply because hospitals in Idaho have chosen to participate in Medicare?
The High Court's ruling could have implications on more than a dozen states that have adopted near-total bans on abortion.
Some doctors will see this as a point of relief.
Dr. Michelle Goodwin is a professor of constitutional law and global health policy at Georgetown Law.
It also is a very strong signal to lawmakers and also those who are not lawmakers but are working in administrative government that they should stand down.
Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson issued a separate opinion, writing, "Today's decision is not a victory for pregnant patients in Idaho. It is delay." The court did not address the underlying question of whether the federal law trumps Idaho's law in certain circumstances, and the case could return to the High Court down the road. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Ahead of the busy summer travel season, we're getting a behind-the-scenes look at the Boeing MAX assembly line as the company hopes to address safety concerns. Tom Costello takes us there.
This morning, Boeing's problems stemming from that MAX 9 door plug blowout have grown more serious. In a rare move, the NTSB is sanctioning Boeing after its executives provided reporters with an update on how the fuselage for that Alaska Airlines plane made its way through the assembly line with the door plug not properly bolted in.
We believe that plug was opened without the correct paperwork.
The NTSB does not allow parties to an investigation to go public with information until that investigation is complete. Boeing remains under NTSB, FAA, and FBI investigation. The focus very much the 737 MAX assembly line near Seattle, where Boeing's reputation is on the line. The two MAX planes that crashed more than 5 years ago came off this line. So did the MAX 9 that suffered that door plug blowout in January. Ever since, FAA inspectors have been on the floor. America's aviation giant has admitted to a breakdown in quality and safety control. Now an all-out blitz to turn things around starting here. Tracking every job, every tool, every procedure. Why has it taken you so long to develop a top-to-bottom approach to quality and safety management that one would think this company should have already had in place decades ago?
We have a strong foundation of caring deeply about safety. What I also know is, though, we have to continually improve. And this is a chance for us to do it.
But Boeing is trying to reassure both airlines and the flying public that it's changing for the better. It generally takes 10 days to move a MAX through the assembly line. But if they identify a problem, they can stop the line. Right now, one of 3 assembly lines has a gap in it right there. That's because they identified a problem with the plane. They decided to stop it and check it. That's a big change, drilling down on engineering basics rather than increasing the production rate.
You want to start slow and then finish with a nice pop.
Rate is not my priority right now. Implementing safety and quality changes and listening to every member of this team is my priority.
I am extremely confident that the actions that we took have ensured that every airplane leaving this factory is safe.
The Blood Bank of Hawaii says their supply levels are critically low, and that's a major concern, especially heading into the summer months. Casey Lund is on the North Shore with details about an interesting partnership that rewards people for their donations.
You may want to know why I'm in a pineapple field. Well, it is National Pineapple Day. The folks at Dole Food Company kind enough to partner again with the Blood Bank of Hawaii. If you donate blood today, June 27th, you get a free pineapple. They were even kind enough to let me try my hand at pineapple planting. It didn't go great. Here in about 30 minutes.
Amazing.
I think it might take a little bit longer than that, Grace, but you know, we're up here with folks, and I don't know. PJ, do you think how's my pineapple planting skills? You got any tips for me? How am I doing? He says, I don't know. Yeah, he's like, I don't know. I think maybe a little work. You get them 3 inches in, right, friend? I might leave it to the pros. How do you think I did on that row anyway?
That's very good.
Very good. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll let you get to it because I don't want to mess up the flow that you've got. I think I need a little practice, so I'm gonna work on it. BJ, thank you so much.
Okay.
I want to bring Dan Nellis back. And I'm out of breath already, Dan. Yeah. And I planted like three seedlings there. That's not good. I don't know if I could hack it all day.
It's a very physical job, and these guys are in incredible shape, and they do a great job.
They do. You know, it's National Pineapple Day. We're having a little fun, but we're talking about partnership with the Blood Bank of Hawaii. If you donate blood today, you get a free pineapple, free Dole pineapple. Yeah. This is something you guys are proud to be a part of, right?
Absolutely. We're 125 years on this island in pineapple, and we want to continue to be part of the community, and these are the kind of things that help the community. So donate blood, get a pineapple, a pine for a pint. It's a great thing.
It's a great thing. If we can really quickly, if we can put up on the screen, there's 2 locations you can do this. The Young Street location in town, and then the Waikele location. Go do that today. You heard from the blood bank they need O, they need platelets. That O is universal. The need is great, and especially as we head into the summer months. Why is that?
Typically, we experience about a 15% dip in donations in the summer. You know, people are on vacation, kids are out of school. So it's really important that people come out because hospital utilization is sky high.
And don't worry, if you weren't able to get out and donate today, you can always do that. You can make an appointment online. There are 2 locations, one in town on Young Street and in Waikele. We have all the details online at hawaiinewsnow.com. We'll send things back into the studio for now.
Casey the Farmer Lund, always up to something. My goodness. Well, let's send you live outside to Waikiki. You know, every single time we take this camera, it is an absolutely beautiful day. Oh, the shores of Waikiki call to us on this beautiful Aloha Thursday. Stay with us after this short break. We'll have a look at your local weather and more news.
How's it on this Thursday? It remains very quiet in the Central Pacific. No hurricanes, no tropical storms, no tropical depressions. So we're cyclone free. And we're not seeing much in the way of rainfall. However, over the weekend, heads up, a disturbance expected to form to the northeast and drop in a little closer. We're talking about increasing windward and Mauka showers Saturday and Sunday. Billy V will have more on that on sunrise over the weekend, so heads up on that. You can see this morning, there's not a lot of rain out there, just a few windward splashes. And those winds will run pretty firm today, lightening up tomorrow, and then picking up again over the weekend. But because we'll have a trade wind breeze, humidity levels will be comfortable, air quality should be pretty good. So your Thursday is going to be especially nice in the afternoon with lots of sunshine. High temperature climbing into the upper 80s. Surf will be climbing too. We've got new pulses for northwest and south shores. Nothing too big, but you add that with those steady trade winds and conditions should be pretty good. So we've got some pretty nice weather both today and tomorrow, and to some extent Saturday, but especially Saturday into Sunday. Look for increasing windward and Mauka showers. But because we'll have breezy winds, some of those clouds and showers will drift over to leeward sides every now and then. So it could be a little cloudier and squishier for the weekend. Drier conditions heading back for Monday.
The Hokulea and Hikianalia set sail from Sand Island yesterday afternoon. They are heading to the North Pacific Gyre for a week-long training journey. 16 crew members will be preparing for the Moana Nui Akea voyage around the Pacific by experiencing different weather systems.
On the next Investigate TV Plus, patients' lives forever changed by a virus that has no cure in sight.
No one sees the war that you're battling.
We're investigating what can be done for millions of Americans suffering from long COVID.
In today's news from the feeds, this is one wild story for the insurance company to hear. There was an unwelcome visitor that crashed the anniversary celebration of a California couple and their family. Melanie Wingo shows us the bare break-in that left the family's minivan completely totaled.
A Folsom family's minivan wrecked beyond repair, front to back, inside and out.
And I noticed there was something moving in the car.
And Irick Edens saw the culprit in action.
Like, wait a minute, all our kids are down there. Who's in the car? And I see the silhouette of the bear through the back window. I was like, holy cow, there's a bear in our car.
A bear that ventured in their van, requiring some human help to get out.
There he goes. I made sure he got on video to make sure I had proof for insurance purposes.
Barely inside for long, the creature did its fair share of damage. The family thinks that morning's pancake fixins were the draw.
I think he spent most of his time licking up syrup and then trying to get out. And he was trapped in there and probably started freaking out, started tearing the place apart.
All the family's camp out food and other bear necessities, a total loss.
Beyond all the damage he did to its claws, destroying the car. But he also defecated and urinated in the car, and so it stinks in there.
The Edenses on their annual anniversary trip to Bass Lake with the fam.
It's an anniversary for the books. We will always remember this one.
And although they're not in a hurry, this trip might just require a redo.
We are very happy together. We love being together, and we'll always do something.
The couple sharing, even in times like this when they find themselves needing to grin and bear it, they always find a way through.
We don't let things like this just mess things up for us.
Now to a unique story out of Yellowstone National Park. It's all about honoring the birth of a rare white bison earlier this month. Steve Patterson has more.
This morning, a once-in-a-generation celebration for a miracle from Mother Nature.
We are here because this is a very momentous time in our history.
A rare white American buffalo, born in the beautiful expanse of Yellowstone National Park, a sacred symbol to the proud men and women of the Great Sioux Nation, fulfilling an ancient prophecy.
Did you think this would happen in your lifetime?
No, I never thought this would happen in our generation.
Indigenous groups from across the country coming together to celebrate in song and ceremony. Before the big reveal, a name.
Wakangli returns sacred.
Lakota Chief Arvil Lookinghorse says it's akin to a second coming for several tribes, the return of an ancient spirit promising strength and abundance, but also a warning.
It's a warning for us to do something.
This is the first record of a white bison calf ever being spotted in Yellowstone.
It feels unreal.
Tour guide and amateur photographer Jordan Creech was leading park visitors when he stumbled upon the herd with the newborn. Right guy, right place, right lens, and sure enough, a white baby bison.
I showed it to my boss and he's like, yeah, absolutely, that's a white bison. That's not like an unusually white bison calf. That is a white bison.
What's running through you when you hear that?
it seemed unreal that I just was so lucky to be one of maybe a dozen people that got photographs of this thing, and I don't think it's been seen since.
But for Chief Looking Horse, it's been a lifelong journey.
It just brings tears into my eyes every time I think about it.
A spiritual rebirth in white, almost like a blank slate, the blessing of a new beginning.
What's the lesson that we should take away from this?
Mother Earth is sick and has a fever. And at this time, this is a spiritual awakening.
A spiritual awakening indeed. Well, how amazing is that?
Yeah, I can't wait to see what it looked like when it's older.
Yeah, all grown up. We want to quickly remind you of the debate coming up, and that is beginning at 3 o'clock Hawaii time. You can watch it on your H&N digital platforms. That includes Apple TV, Roku, the streaming platforms, all that good stuff. So that is, again, at 3 o'clock Hawaii time. It will be hosted by Local News Live and CNN between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump. Thanks for watching, everyone.